Welcome to the SmartKeys podcast. Today, we're undertaking a deep dive into something called phased retirement programs. And this isn't, just an HR perk anymore. It's really becoming a critical strategic solution for businesses trying to handle the loss of all that institutional knowledge.
It truly is. We're looking at a system that finally acknowledges the massive value that's just locked up in long-tenured staff.
Right.
Phased retirement, at its core, it's a carefully structured plan that lets full-time employees dial back their schedule, shift to part-time.
Okay, so they're working less.
Exactly, while simultaneously beginning to draw down some portion of their earned retirement benefits.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit. Our source material highlights the core goals, and they're really beautiful in their simplicity. One, you make sure the transitioning employee keeps a reliable income flow. And two, you protect all that vital, complex institutional knowledge from just walking out the door on a Friday afternoon.
And that second goal is exactly why this is so relevant right now in early 2026. This whole thing became a formalized, recognized operational model after federal rules changed way back in 2014.
So this isn't new, it's just becoming more critical.
Precisely. We're talking about concrete processes using specific forms like the SF3116. It proves this is a standardized, policy-driven approach, not just some casual agreement.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? Whether you're a leader designing a succession plan, or maybe you're a seasoned professional charting your next life phase, our mission here is to cut through the complexity. We want to clarify the strategic insights, the eligibility criteria, and the critical financial planning stuff so you can use this approach to tackle really the two biggest talent challenges out there: retaining expertise and managing workforce transitions without a big disruption.
If we start with the why of it all, the data really points to clear dual benefits. Wins for the business and wins for the employee.
Okay.
For the employer, the business case isn't soft at all. It's a hard financial advantage.
Okay, give me the tangible wins. How does a leader actually track the ROI on something like this?
It's all about risk mitigation and cost control. Knowledge retention is the single biggest factor.
Right.
Keeping veteran staff on reduced schedules preserves that critical service knowledge and avoids those sudden, really costly gaps that always seem to hit during peak periods.
Or when some complex process needs oversight and the one person who knew it is gone.
Exactly. This overlap just drastically lowers external hiring costs, replacement expenses, and leaders can track the return on investment through metrics like reduced time to hire, or a drop in onboarding time for new hires.
Interesting.
And even improved error rates in critical processes during that transition. It just strengthens service continuity immediately.
That makes a lot of strategic sense. But I have to ask, isn't there a risk that paying a highly experienced person part-time could be seen as a luxury expense, compared to just hiring a younger full-time replacement who might cost less on paper?
That's a valid question, but it sort of misses the long-term cost of knowledge loss. Replacing an expert isn't just about the salary.
It's more than that.
It's about the cost of errors, the slowdown in service delivery, and the time. The sheer time it takes for a new person to absorb 10, maybe 20 years of corporate history. Phased retirement turns that high-risk scenario into a planned, managed transfer.
And then shifting over to the employee side, this seems equally powerful for personal stability. It sounds like a fantastic way to ease the physical and emotional strain of full-time work. You cut the hours, but not the financial ties completely.
Precisely. It allows the individual to sort of test drive their next life phase.
I like that. Test drive.
A reduced workload maintains financial stability, which lowers stress dramatically. It protects their well-being in that pivotal transition, giving them space for health, for family, for long-term planning.
Yeah.
All without that immediate, shock-inducing drop in pay.
And when organizations do this, what are the common models they use? Is it one size fits all?
Oh, not at all. There are three main approaches you see. The most straightforward is simply shifting to standard part-time roles or, reduced days, maybe 3 or 4 days a week instead of 5.
Okay, that makes sense.
A second model uses seasonal or temporary assignments. They're tied specifically to peak business periods. So think of accountants being retained only during tax season.
Or faculty only teaching in the spring semester.
Exactly. And the third is job sharing. This allows two people to split a single high-level workload. It's especially useful for preserving salary budgets while immediately training the successor on the job.
Let's move to the mechanics of it all. Eligibility and compliance. Our sources really stress that the planning factors are vital. Before you do anything else, You have to check your age and your years of pensionable service rules.
That's the gatekeeper requirement, absolutely. You can't just decide you want to do it.
Right.
And starting those conversations early with HR, with managers, is paramount. You have to ensure the plan genuinely fits the operational needs of the organization.
And this is where we start running into those federal terms that, might seem like alphabet soup to someone outside that system. How do we explain the documentation, something like the SF-3116?
We just need to contextualize it. For federal employees, this move to part-time while you're drawing benefits, it's made official using an irrevocable election form. That's the SF-3116.
So it's a legal document.
It is. It formalizes the decision. And this is all governed by official policy docs called OPM BAL guidance. Just think of a BAL benefits administration letter as a formal memo that makes sure your health coverage and your other benefits stay intact.
Okay, so what are the immediate financial consequences once that form is filed? What happens to my paycheck?
The consequence is a move to what's called a pro rata adjustment.
Yeah.
It means if you cut your hours by, say, 50%, your future salary, your leave accruals, your contributions, they all drop proportionately.
It's just math.
It's just math. It's not a secret. But,
Yeah.
and this is crucial for peace of mind, your core health coverage, things like FEHB and
Yep.
FEHR,
The federal health and life insurance?
right? Those are generally maintained, and that's confirmed by those BLs.
Let's look at a concrete example to really show how those adjustments play out. The City University of New York, CUNY, has a great model.
It's highly detailed.
Yeah.
At CUNY, staff or faculty have to be 65 or older with 15 years in their TIA retirement system. And they can phase their retirement for up to 3 years.
And they structure it differently based on the role.
They do. Tenured faculty often move to a clear 50% workload for 50% salary, teaching 1 semester instead of 2. Very straightforward.
And what about administrative staff? Is it the same?
For them, it could be more nuanced. For their HEO or CLT staff, they might get 80% of their salary for a smaller 20% workload cut.
Which usually means, what, 4 days a week instead of 5?
Typically, yes. The key takeaway for the listener here is that these programs are flexible. They're tailored to make sure the work can be packaged neatly into fewer days. It maximizes efficiency for the organization and keeps pay predictable for the employee.
That planning is essential. Now, let's talk about the big one, the critical planning hurdle, Social Security. This timing issue is maybe the single most stressful part of this whole transition.
It absolutely is, and this is the expert's warning you really need to heed. You have to weigh your age and your timing so carefully, because if you claim Social Security before you reach your full retirement age, you trigger some very strict earnings limits that can reduce those benefits.
Let's make those numbers stick for the listener. Based on 2024 guidance, what are the limits people need to remember?
Before your full retirement age, you can only earn $22,320 before your benefits start to get reduced.
Okay.
If you're in the year you reach full retirement age, that limit jumps up to $59,520. Now, here's the implication. If you're drawing a partial annuity and working a part-time role that pays more than those limits, you might unintentionally trigger some significant benefit reductions.
So you need to do the math very, very carefully.
You need careful personalized tax and financial modeling. There's no way around it.
And we should also briefly mention the tax implications. We're dealing with a composite annuity here.
Correct. Your composite annuity, the part you start drawing, is split into taxable and tax-free portions. The tax-free part is your basis, the contributions you already pay taxes on. It's complex, and it requires referencing detailed guidance, specifically IRS Publication 721. The main point is just, don't assume the entire payment is taxed like a regular paycheck.
Okay, now that we understand the technical and financial side, let's shift gears completely to organizational strategy. How does a company successfully design and roll out one of these programs so it becomes a measurable success, not just an HR obligation?
It has to be treated as a strategic succession initiative. That's the key. The first step is to define the program outcomes first.
Don't start with the schedule, start with the goals.
Exactly. Start with the goals. Guaranteed knowledge transfer, coverage stability, measurable service continuity.
So you're mapping out multi-year timelines and getting the entire organization aligned.
You have to. You must make sure HR, payroll, and the managers are all using the same approval runbook. Use a single comprehensive form to document the agreement and structure the reduced time to maintain that consistency we talked about. 4 days a week for staff, spreading a teaching load for faculty. It has to work for the business.
This brings us to the core, why it matters for institutional strength. The knowledge transfer. We agreed this can't just be a suggestion. It has to be a mandatory, formalized deliverable. What does that look like in practice for a manager?
This is the key strategic insight. You have to formalize mentoring directly into the plan. If the expert is being paid for 50% time, a specific percentage of those hours must be allocated to knowledge transfer activities.
So you're talking about defining specific deliverables.
Absolutely. Scheduled shadowing sessions for the successor. Mandatory documentation sprints to capture that legacy knowledge. Formal training checklists added directly to the workly time allocation.
So the employee's job description literally changes from, say, senior expert to senior expert and certified knowledge mentor. Precisely. And this is so vital for the employee, too. From their side, knowing their role is formalized as a critical mentoring position. It often boosts their engagement and gives them a continued sense of purpose during that wind-down phase.
And finally, how do we prove this whole strategic initiative actually worked?
By defining success metrics that validate the outcome. You shouldn't measure success by how long the person stayed. You measure it by the metrics of the transition itself.
Like what?
That means measuring turnaround time for processes the expert used to own. Measuring the onboarding speed for the new hires who are getting that mentorship. Tracking error rates in the processes being documented. If those metrics improve, or even just stay stable during that phase period, you've proven the program works as a succession planning tool.
This has been an incredibly detailed look at both operational efficiency and the complexities of personal planning. As we wrap up, let's give the listener a practical checklist for taking timely action on all this information.
First, define your personal timeline and understand the application window for your system. We saw the CUNY model requires an application by November 15th for an irrevocable commitment.
If you miss that window, you wait a whole year.
You wait a year. Second, align your choices with your specific retirement system and your years of service. Don't just assume you qualify because you hit a certain age. The system needs both age and service years.
Get it. And third.
And third, formalize absolutely everything. Get the paperwork right, submit the proper form like the SF3D116, and secure all the necessary approvals. And remember that crucial confirmation step. Verify in writing that your FEHB and FEGLI coverages are secure before you reduce your hours.
So when we zoom out, what does this all mean? The value of phased retirement. It isn't just a compassionate, graceful exit for the employee, though it is certainly that. It's fundamentally a planned competitive advantage for the organization.
But that's it. The greatest takeaway is the power of proactively turning that potential knowledge loss, that massive brain drain, into guaranteed knowledge transfer.
Right.
By treating mentoring not as some optional suggestion, but as a mandatory, measurable deliverable with defined success metrics, you shift the entire view. Phased retirement is not retirement policy. It is the best form of succession strategy.
That is a powerful framework for moving forward. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the strategic world of phased retirement programs and, really, the future of work.
We hope this information helps you plan smarter, whether you are the manager building the team of tomorrow or the professional entering this new, exciting phase of life.
If these insights on operational efficiency and knowledge transfer resonated with you, subscribe to the SmartKeys podcast for more actionable insights on business trends, SaaS tools, and productivity hacks.
And to read the full article by SmartKeys founder Felix Römer and access all that detailed guidance on eligibility and compliance forms, you can find the link in the show notes.
Thank you for tuning in to the SmartKeys podcast.